Hey everyone, this is ArnoldBliss98, and here we have my LEGO Transformers G1 Bumblebee. I made this guy to scale with the new official LEGO Optimus Prime, which came out earlier this month. And I actually started working on this Bumblebee as soon as he was revealed in early May, and finished him just before I got the actual set, which is cool. And this guy is a bit different than my usual style, but my goal was to kind of create a Transformer similar to something LEGO would do. And the final product's not quite there. He's a little more complex than, I guess, something I would see in a LEGO product. But he is definitely more stable and easier to transform than any of my recent builds. And he also is free of any illegal techniques, according to stud.io. And he was really fun to design, and is overall one of my favorite builds. He has roughly a little less than 500 pieces, and if it was a set, it would probably be 50 to 70 US dollars, I guess. In fact, I really want to share this build with you guys, so I'm trying something new with instructions using this website called Rebrickable. I created instructions by PDF instructions from stud.io, and they're going to be in the link below on that website. So hope you have fun messing with this guy, especially if you own the official LEGO Optimus. And to start here, using his car mode, he is kind of an approximation of a Volkswagen Beetle. Just like with the official Optimus set, I wanted to create a design that was kind of a mix between the cartoon and his original toy. So this thing is not quite as squished as the cartoon model, but is also not as long as the official car, so it's pretty nice and smooth, and it helps that a lot of these pieces come in yellow, so I had a lot to work with. And taking a closer look, I really like how smooth the front hood is, and the two headlights, which are angled a little bit back. And then I like how I got the trans black for the windshield, which is pretty clean. And coming to the back, he has this spare tire. This isn't a thing on the real car, but I wanted to follow what the Masterpiece toy did, because this thing eventually becomes this spare tire like back detail in robot mode. But it looks pretty cool like this, and you can remove it and the car still looks pretty clean. In addition, you can also tab in his small gun here, which is his only accessory. And he rolls really well on these big rubber tires. And his undercarriage is pretty clean. He's pretty packed inside here. There's not a lot of hollow space, so he's like a pretty hefty boy. And the biggest complaint for this mode is that this center section doesn't seem to lock in, so it's kind of hard to grab him by here. So you have to kind of pinch on these 2 points and kind of grab him there, so like that. But everything else is solid in this mode. And for a size comparison, here he is with the minifigure in Ravage. Just like with Optimus, he is a bit big for minifigure scale. And here he is with my movie Bumblebee, Studio Series Bumblebee, and my original G1 Bumblebee. And here he is next to the official LEGO Optimus, and these two look perfect together. B might be a little big for car mode, but I love how these two look. And a quick side view. And now for the transformation. The transformation is pretty fun and relatively simple compared to my other builds. The cool thing is that a lot of the structure sits at right angles to each other, so you don't have to rotate tons of tiny little pieces, and you just swing large sections out, which is cool. First you gotta remove the gun. You could also remove the tire cap, but you can transform with it. You just gotta rotate it like that. And next you want to do is fold out the roof here, revealing the head. This little piece sits under his neck right there. And then you also want to fold up the fenders like that. Going to the bottom, you can see these bits are his whole hands, arms I guess. And you just want to pull these forearms out here. And then on the joint here, you can just fold these shoulders up here. And then you split them. And then you bring each of them out here. Fold out the fenders for clearance, like that, and like this. And then going to the top, you want to fold all this back here, and at the same time straighten this back up, rotate the arms like this, and then rotate the arms like this, so the two tires meet in the middle, just like that. And then you want to rotate the arm around like this. And same for this side. Straighten them up and fold them kind of like that. It's a kind of a weird thing on these thin pieces, but it works. Just like that. And this part is really cool. This is one of my favorite parts, this whole movement of how these kind of windows get swallowed up into his chest. And then you tab this into his waist right here, like that. And next you want to take his head on this joint and move it more to the center, and then collapse these arms down like this, like that. And then coming over to the back, these fenders here are going to just kind of sit over his shoulders just like that. And same for this side. Just wiggle them up and then you kind of just shift them over like that. And this back is pretty clean too. You want to take this final joint here, fold it down, fold it up again, take this back section, push it against the wheel, fold it up, and bring all this down to complete the upper body. And now for his legs, coming over to the bottom here. This part is pretty cool. I don't know how legal it is, but it keeps the wheels in place. You have to wiggle them out. And you can see the T-joint actually goes right into the axle right there, or the pin. Just gotta wiggle these sections out, and you have to push them down just a little bit, just like that. And then coming into the top, you have to fold these panels out like this, and out like that. And then coming into the front bumper here, just gotta push and split them in half. You can see the two tabs here. And now you can bring these sections up in the classic transformation. Fold these back up, and then coming into the back here to deal with these heel spurs. This is pretty cool. You shift all this down, and then you want to tab this Technic piece into the wheel well section like that. And then coming over to here, you want to take these mini tabs and rotate them back, and then fold this section down to complete the foot. And the same for the other side. You want to just rotate this up, rotate this Technic section down, and tab it into place like that. And then take these tabs, fold them, and then fold the wheel down to complete his foot. And now you can easily stand him up just like that. And here we have Bumblebee in his classic robot mode. That transformation wasn't too bad, was it? And taking a closer look, you can see he has a more of a toy accurate colors, but he has a little bit closer to the proportions of his cartoon model. So it's a big mix of both. And then you can see the spare tire cover ends up where it should be on the animation model. But yeah, I love the combination of the black and the yellow. Everything works really smoothly here. And taking a look at his head, I want the rep be similar to the official Lego Prime, so I imagine that they would probably use a sticker for his face or some kind of print. So that's what I did. I kind of traced a picture of his G1 face on Google Slides, and I just taped it on this slope here, which is nice. Same with the Autobot logo. This would probably be a print if this was an official set. And I know a lot of people don't like the prints because it's kind of lazy, but I did try my hand at some brick-built heads. I wasn't too satisfied with them. They're either really fragile or didn't fit in the alt mode, so I decided to go simple with his head. You got the nice horns, and yeah. And he holds together pretty well in this mode. The only part that falls apart a lot is his waist, but I think it's not too bad, considering if you stand him up it doesn't fall apart. But he's pretty articulate. His head is on a ball joint, can look all around. It's also on an extra joint for that transformation. And his arms are on mini ball joints, same with his elbow here. And then as an added bonus, because of this hinge, you can kind of get a little butterfly joint, which is really neat. And of course his hands are similar to my usual builds with the little fingers and his little thumb. You can open and close. No waist swivel for stability, but he uses the larger ball joints for his legs, which need to hold up more weight. And he has knees, which is very nice. And then the cool part is he does have an ankle pivot. It can go like strangely far, don't do that. But the cool part is that his wheels are pretty heavy, so they kind of help him stand up. So you can just kind of plop him down, and his ankles will take care of the rest. Don't get too carried away. And of course you can give him his little pistol. I think this turned out really nice. You can see a bunch of little parts into it. But this hand is works a little differently than my usual hand builds, but there's like a little stud inside here where you can tab the gun right into here. And then you can wrap his fingers like that. And he holds it in pretty well. You can kind of pose him up like that. And then you can also take a little blast effect, just made with the little blast effect parts, and tap it right in. Yeah, that's cool. And then you can get him into some pretty dynamic poses. And for a size comparison, we got a minifigure and Ravage. And with my Lego smaller G1 Bumblebee and my movie Bumblebee, and some of my Hasbro figures with the Studio Series Voyager Soundwave and Deluxe Bumblebee. He's about like between a Voyager and a Leader. And here he is finally with the official Lego Optimus, two of the most iconic Transformers designs. And yeah, these two look amazing. I know B could be a little tiny in the cartoon, but I think this scaling is perfectly fine. And that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed Bumblebee here. He's probably one of my favorite builds and is the perfect companion to Prime. If I actually had the storage space or shelf space to display them, that would definitely have them in this pose or something like this. And I really like how he matches Prime's aesthetic, kind of a mix of the cartoon and toy aspects. And the cool part is I didn't have to go like super hyper accurate to the cartoon model and do all kinds of crazy things. But yeah, it was really fun to kind of pick and choose what I wanted to work with his design. And once again, I'm more than happy to share his design with you guys, and so you can build him and have him displayed next to your own Optimus Prime. And yeah, once again, the link is in the description to his instructions on Rebrickable. And while this was a fun challenge, I don't think I'll be making any other G1 Transformers at this scale. I just wanted to have a Bumblebee and Prime together. But I will be modifying my Prime with knees. I just didn't want to tear them apart for this video, and I'll hopefully have a video on that. And also in the future, I will be going back to movie builds, as I do have something I'm working on right now. And I just had to recreate that scene in the G1 cartoon where Optimus Prime hugs Bumblebee. And yeah, that is it for this video. Thanks so much for watching and your support. And yeah, I'm not sure what my next build will be. I'm still working on it, but I'll see you guys until then.